Good morning, pretties. It is definitely a cozy robe and slippers kind of morning. It's a little bit cold out there. I love it though. It can stay cold this time of year, up through the new year, and then it can go back to being nice again. I'm okay with that. I don't like cold weather. That's one of the reasons I moved to Texas from Pennsylvania. My last semester of college, I remember walking across campus and I had little icicles frozen on my eyelashes one day, and I swore I would never spend another winter in a cold climate again, and I have not. That was the year I decided to move here. So anyway, but I do enjoy the cold weather this time of the year. I miss the changing of the seasons. I miss fall most of all, but I also miss snow occasionally. I just wouldn't want to live in it again. So anyway, thank you guys. Yesterday, I sent out an SOS on Instagram. I had forgotten to make dinner, and it was about 5:30, and I realized that the pork chops that I was going to cook were still in the freezer. So I pulled out my Instant Pot, and I usually have chili fixins in the pantry. Like, that's our emergency meal. So Craig and I tag teamed it, threw it all together, had dinner on the table in 30 minutes. But I realized I've mastered chili in the Instant Pot. I've mastered chicken chili in the Instant Pot, but I need to broaden my horizons. So I put a post on Instagram last evening, and you guys gave me lots of awesome recipe ideas. If you want to check that out and you're watching on Facebook, it's the Get Your Pretty On Instagram account. It's _GetYourPrettyOn. And a lot of you said to try a pot roast next, which I think I'm going to do next week. One of the tips you gave me was awesome, to boil eggs in the Instant Pot. I never would have thought of that. I love hard-boiled eggs. I hate peeling them every single time I do it. I've tried everything. I've tried the baking soda trick, the vinegar trick, the ice water bath, old eggs, you name it, and nothing helps. I always, when I'm peeling them, they still end up falling apart. So several of you said to boil them in the Instant Pot. It takes like a couple minutes, literally like 2 minutes, and they peel like a breeze. So I can't wait to try that. I'm excited. And I would make more hard-boiled eggs if it wasn't for the peeling issue. So I'm going to be trying that next. And you gave me some other great recipes and tips on using it too. It's a little bit tricky to figure out. So if you have one on your Christmas list, or you're planning to get one, first off, it is a lifesaver in many ways. But secondly, don't get frustrated because it's a little bit tricky. Sometimes I get a burn warning when I'm making my chili, and I've had to experiment a little bit with it, but it's working out and I love it. So anyway, on the subject of food, I'm also going to be putting a post on Instagram, I think later on this week. I scheduled it yesterday, for your favorite Christmas cookie recipes, because it's almost cookie exchange time. And last year I did the same thing. I asked for some new recipe ideas, and you guys came through big time. I had some that were a huge hit at some cookie exchange parties and that our family loved, and we're adding those into the rotation. So if you have some favorite recipes, I would love to hear those. Definitely share those with me. All right, so for today's chat, we are going to be talking about the gift of presents. And I'm not talking about the kind that you wrap and put under the tree. I'm talking about your presence, your physical presence in connecting with loved ones, especially over the next month. And I'm going to be issuing a challenge to you also that I am going to be doing myself, a presence challenge to really just be fully present with your loved ones over the next month or so. You can wait till December to start it if you'd like. I started mine on Sunday, and I'll tell you why in a sec. But I would love for you to follow along and try this with me over the next month. So on Sunday, our sermon at church was about being present. And obviously, you know, this whole topic of us being distracted by, you know, our phones, mainly social media and being online, is pulling us out of our real relationships in a lot of ways, in significant ways. And the way this was related biblically was that oftentimes the miracles in the Bible were happening during mundane situations. And I think a lot of us overlook that in our daily lives, where the most mundane moments are the ones where we're missing out on something really significant and important. And oftentimes it's the connections that we have with the people in those moments. And I saw a meme going around over Thanksgiving, and it was of a group of people, and there was an elderly woman in there, and it said, I don't even remember what it said on it, but it was something about when everyone visits grandma for Thanksgiving. And she was surrounded by people who were looking at their phones, and she was the only one not on a phone. And, I really thought about that, how there are those seemingly mundane moments when we're riding in the car with our kids or our spouse, or we're sitting in the same room together, and our default is to pick up our phones, right? And look at them and see what's going on. But I promise you, nothing more important in that phone than the connection with the real live person that's right in front of you in that moment. And I'm just as guilty of this. I'm definitely not preaching to anybody about this, because it's something that I became really aware of last week before the sermon even happened. Because I decided to take a little bit of time to disconnect from work, to, just really step back from things. And part of that included me just stepping away from my phone. And I don't think that was really intentional. I didn't think about it at the time, but it was just a natural outcropping that happened whenever I made the decision to step back from work a little bit. I wasn't checking my phone as often. And I noticed I have a little thing on there that tracks my screen time. And when it gave me my report on Sunday, my screen time went way down too. And I noticed all these other changes that were happening to me. Like, I didn't feel as anxious, and I wasn't comparing myself. And there were all these other things that were happening. Like, I felt more connected with my family. I felt more in the moment. We had fun. We did things together. Like I talked about yesterday, we went axe throwing, and Aubrey and I went to see Pentatonics, and we had our mundane moments where we were just hanging out at home or riding in the car. And it was just so nice to feel fully present and fully connected. And it wasn't just about my phone. It was about everything. Like, I don't need a phone in my hand to not be present with my family. I have this ongoing dialogue in my mind that eats up my bandwidth all the time, where I'm thinking about, what do I need to do next? Oh my gosh, I forgot to do that. I need to put this on the grocery list. Oh, I need to send an email about this. And it's just, it's constant. Sometimes I'll be thinking the night before, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do on coffee chat tomorrow or whatever? But there are so many things that pull me out of the moment that I wasn't really aware of until I just took that step back last week, and didn't have all that stuff going on in my mind. And it felt so good. So the challenge, I guess, I always like to give tangible steps for something, not just throw a challenge out there and say, hey, try to do this. I think that the first and most important step is that if you are with people physically in a room or in a car or somewhere, be fully present with those people. Like, put your phone away. Research has shown, even if you're at a meal and you have your phone out on the table, it is still a distraction, even if you're not looking at it. So put it away. Like, don't even put it away. If there's something super important, urgent, an emergency, whatever, somebody is going to call you or they're going to text you, and you will know, but you're not going to miss anything by putting it completely away. So, that's challenge number one, is if you are physically present with other people, to be present with other people. Challenge number two is, even if you're not with other people and you have this problem like I do with the ongoing dialogue in your mind about the things that you need to do and all of the things that can distract you from being with people. If you're by yourself, then maybe this is a really good opportunity. And this is how I'm using this. I'm connecting with God more in this space, and using that as time for prayer and devotion instead of time for the hamster wheel to be going in my mind. And it's a time for me to connect with my higher power instead of connecting with the people that are around me. So that's one of the ways that I'm going to be using my time over this next month too. And this time of the year just tends to suck us all in and chew us up and spit us out. And I know that we have lots of obligations. I talked about creating a holiday calendar and making a priority out of the things that you really, really want to do and get done, and the things that you enjoy, to make those a priority. But putting white space in that calendar is just as important as putting activities in there. So I challenge you to definitely create some white space over the next month, be fully present, and see if it affects, you know, how you're feeling, what your relationships, you know, helping your relationships to get closer. And it will, I guarantee you, cut back on your stress too. You're still going to have the same amount of stuff to do, but just having a calm mind and calm spirit is going to reduce that stress on some level. So I challenge you to do that. And my own challenge, I am going to cut back a little bit on what I'm doing. I said before, I'd like to take a long break over Christmas. This year, I'm going to start on December 14th and go through the new year. Our son is graduating college on December 15th, so we're going to be traveling and doing some things. So I'm going to gradually start cutting back where I can right now and come back full force after the new year. I have some really cool stuff planned for GYPO in 2019, and I am super excited about it, and I hope you guys will be too. But it's going to be a lot of work, and I love to just rest up and get my creativity refreshed before I head into a season like that. So I will definitely be cutting back in a lot of areas. You'll be seeing me on coffee chats a little bit less. I apologize. I will be checking in on Fridays up until the time that I leave for my break. And I'm going to be working on some longer form videos next year, which I'm really excited about. Some tutorial type videos, and I'll still be doing lives as well, but we're going to work on some YouTube types of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy that too. Just a little tiny sneak peek there. And I will be checking in this Friday to show you some of my favorite winter trends. If you guys are still out shopping for your winter clothes, the nice thing about the cold weather is it makes us want to shop for clothes, right? So I'll be talking about some winter trends on Friday, and then I'll be back the following 2 Fridays before I take my break as well. And I'm also going to do a longer form video and show you guys some of the things we did with our Christmas decorations this year. So I hope you enjoy that. All right, thanks for watching today. If you enjoyed this, if you are going to take the Presence Challenge with me, please let me know. I would love to know. We can keep each other accountable for it. We can talk about it in the GYPO Get Your Pretty on Pretties group, which is on Facebook, if you want to go in there and discuss. And if you like this video, please share it. If there's somebody you think would benefit from being able to step back and be more fully present this holiday season, then I would greatly appreciate you sharing it with them. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys back here on Friday. Bye.